I thought I had time. At 45, I ignored the signs. At 68, I paid the price. The truth is brutal but freeing. What you do in your 40s doesn't just affect tomorrow. It writes the story of your 70s. And I wish someone had told me which 5 choices mattered most. It happened on a Tuesday morning. I remember because Tuesdays were always my favorite. Quiet, predictable, mine. I was sitting in the doctor's office expecting a routine checkup. Nothing serious. But when Dr. Patterson walked in, his expression told me otherwise. He stood for a moment, holding my file, and I knew before he spoke. He used careful words: prediabetes, osteopenia, early-stage hypertension, terms that felt heavy, unfamiliar. I was 68. I walked most days. I ate reasonably well. I didn't feel old. But the numbers told a different story. My body had been keeping track of years I hadn't. Every skipped meal, every postponed workout, every late night is fueled by stress. Every ache I dismissed as normal aging. None of it felt dangerous at the time. But together, they added up. My body remembered what I ignored, and now I was facing the cost. I left the office feeling heavy, not panicked, just aware. These didn't happen overnight, the doctor said. They're the result of years of small choices. That sentence stayed with me. I hadn't been reckless. I had just kept telling myself I'd deal with it later. That night, I thought about my 40s. How busy I was, how strong I felt. I believed I had time. And that belief made me careless. The hardest part wasn't the diagnosis. It was the regret, knowing that small changes could have mattered. I'm sharing this not to frighten you, but to free you. If you're in your 40s, 50s, or early 60s, you still have time. The choices I'm about to share aren't extreme. They're simple, honest lessons I wish I had taken seriously before my body had to speak for me. The first choice is the simplest, and yet it's the one I resisted the most. How you move, not how much you exercise, not whether you run marathons or lift heavy weights, just how you move every single day. In my 40s, I stopped moving without realizing it. I drove everywhere. I sat at a desk for 8, sometimes 10 hours a day. I came home exhausted and collapsed on the couch. I told myself I was too tired to walk, too busy to stretch, too stressed to care. And for a while, my body let me get away with it. I didn't gain much weight. I didn't feel weak. I just stiffened, slowly, quietly. By my 60s, I noticed it. Getting out of the car took effort. Bending down to tie my shoes made my back ache. Stairs became something I avoided. I thought it was just age. Everyone slows down, right? But Dr. Patterson explained it differently. He said my muscles had been quietly wasting away for years. Sarcopenia, he called it, age-related muscle loss, and it doesn't start in your 70s. It starts in your 40s. The moment you stop challenging your body, it begins to let go. But here's what broke my heart. It was preventable. Not completely. We all age. But the severity of it, the speed of it, could have been slowed if I'd just walked consistently, 30 minutes a day. If I'd stretched in the mornings. If I'd stood more, moved more, cared more. I didn't need a gym. I didn't need equipment. I just needed to stay in motion. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. Your 70s are written in your 40s. The strength you build then, or fail to build, determines whether you'll climb stairs or avoid them, whether you'll garden, travel, play with grandchildren, or watch from a chair. Movement isn't about fitness, it's about freedom. And I gave mine away without a fight. I started walking again after that appointment, not because I thought it would fix everything, but because I needed to feel like I was doing something, and it helped. Not dramatically, not miraculously, but enough. Enough to remind me that my body still wanted to move. It had just been waiting for permission. The second choice is what you eat, and I don't mean diets. I mean nourishment. Real, consistent, unglamorous nourishment. I used to think I ate well. I didn't live on fast food. I cooked dinner most nights. I had salad sometimes. But when I really looked back, I realized how much of my diet was empty, convenient, quick, processed. I reached for what was easy, not what my body needed. And in my 40s, I got away with it. My energy stayed steady. My weight didn't spike. I felt fine. But fine isn't the same as healthy. And by my 60s, the cracks were showing. My bones were thinning. My inflammation markers were high. My blood sugar was unstable. Dr. Patterson asked me a question I'll never forget. When did you stop eating for your future? I didn't have an answer because I'd never started. The truth is, food is medicine, not in a trendy superfood way, in a quiet, foundational way. The calcium I didn't eat in my 40s became the brittle bones I have now. The sugar I consumed without thinking became the insulin resistance I'm managing today. The vegetables I skipped became the inflammation I feel in my joints. Every meal was a choice, and I chose convenience over care. I'm not saying you need to be perfect. I'm saying you need to be mindful, because your 70s don't care about your intentions. They only care about what you actually did. And if you fed your body processed food, chronic stress, and neglect, it will remember. The third choice is sleep and stress, and this one nearly destroyed me. In my 40s, I wore exhaustion like a badge of honor. I stayed up late finishing projects, answering emails, worrying about things I couldn't control. I slept 5, maybe 6 hours a night, and I told myself I'd catch up on the weekend. I never did. And stress was just part of life. I didn't manage it. I endured it. But here's what I didn't know. Chronic stress and poor sleep don't just make you tired. They age you at the cellular level. They raise your cortisol, damage your heart, weaken your immune system, and erode your memory. And the damage is cumulative. Every sleepless night, every stressful year added up. By my 60s, I was exhausted in a way that sleep couldn't fix. I forgot names. I felt anxious for no reason. My blood pressure was high. And when Dr. Patterson explained the connection between my decades of poor sleep and my current health, I felt foolish, because I thought I was tough. I thought I was pushing through, but I was just breaking down. The fourth choice is connection, and I almost lost this one entirely. In my 40s, I was too busy with friends. I worked. I am a parent. I survived. Socializing felt like a luxury I couldn't afford. I told myself I'd reconnect later when life slowed down. But life never slowed down. It just emptied out. By my 60s, I was lonely. My kids had their own lives. My work friends had retired and moved on. And I realized I'd spent decades building a life with no roots, no community, no one to call just to talk. Loneliness isn't just sad. It's deadly. Studies show it's as harmful as smoking. It accelerates cognitive decline, weakens your immune system, and shortens your life. And I felt it. The isolation, the quiet, the fear that I'd become invisible. Connection isn't optional. It's survival. The fifth choice is the one I ignored the longest, listening to my body. I skipped checkups. I dismissed the pain. I avoided doctors because I didn't want bad news. And by the time I finally went, the damage was done. Preventive care isn't fear, it's respect. Respect for the body that's carried you this far. If I could go back, I'd start small. I'd walk. I'd sleep. I'd eat real food. I'd call a friend. I'd see a doctor. Because your 70s are decided now, and you still have time.